It's 3:01. Are all of our guests here for industry hour? I want to make sure of that.
We do have Dr. Rhonda Alexander on the call, the WebEx, and I'm gonna say Acusia. I'm not gonna attempt the last name. I probably messed up the first name.
It's Acusia. I'm here.
Acusia.
Okay, she's here.
Okay, would that person be on the line? Would that be Dean Carrington? Is he joining Acusia?
I'm not sure if Dean Carrington will be joining today, but Dr. Rhonda and I are here today.
Okay, fantastic.
He's going to try to make it, but he'll probably be on a computer or iPad.
Okay, sounds good, my dear. It is about 3:02. I'm going to call the meeting to order on this lovely Friday, February the 12th. I'm going to call it to order at 3:02 p.m. and we'll begin. And I'd like to start by, of course, welcoming everyone to the call. We are so glad that you're able to join us on this day. If there are some guests that would like to introduce themselves, I'd like them to have the opportunity to do it now if it's possible, Lavera. And then put on mute so I won't get feedback.
Okay. We do have 3 guests on the line. Nikita, can you unmute them? We have Hannah Francis. Hannah, if you're there, can you unmute yourself and say hello to everyone?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Okay, and
welcome, Hannah.
And we have a guest, Teresa Gladney, on the WebEx. If you can unmute yourself. Okay, Ms. Gladney is not there any longer. Oh, I see her. She's over here. Ms. Gladney, are you there? Okay, and then we have someone who's called in on via phone. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm Joyce Williams. Hello, all.
Hello, thank you for joining us.
Was that Miss Williams?
Yes.
What's the name of your company? Can you share that information with us as well?
Sure. I'm not representing a company. I'm just a concerned citizen.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All righty, Lavera, do we have enough of members online so that we can move forward with approval of the minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful.
I will do the.
I believe everyone
with
has
a
had
roll
the.
call.
Yes.
Thank you. As I call your name, please say present. Kelvin Arthur. Kelvin Arthur. Harshad Barat. Harshad Barat. Francina Harrison. Francina Harrison. Ed Hopper.
Present.
Ron Lewis.
Present.
Clarence Neely. Clarence Neely. Clarence
Can you hear me?
Neely? Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm here.
Thank you. Francis Thompson.
I'm present.
Olga Torres.
Present.
Damon Watson.
Present.
Jaquita Clark. Jaquita Clark. Sheila Johnson.
Present.
You have 7 members present, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. I think that's enough to determine a quorum. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Fantastic. Can we move to, for the approval of the minutes? Lavera, with it being virtual, do we need to take a motion at this time?
I will defer to Attorney Rod Ingram.
Hi, Rod.
Hello. Yes, Madam Chair, if you would call for somebody to make a motion and somebody to make a second, that would be helpful.
Fantastic, thank you. Can I get someone to motion for the approval of the minutes, please?
This is Olga. I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
This is Damon. I second.
Thank you. It has been moved and properly seconded for the approval of the minutes. Are there any questions before we move to the vote? Okay, thank you. Lavera, can you move to the vote, please? Sorry.
Barat,
Uh-huh. Lavera, if you're speaking, you're going in and out.
can you hear me?
Yes.
You're in and out for me.
Okay. Okay, so let me try this again.
We can
Kelvin
hear you now.
Arthur. Okay. Harshad Barat. Francina Harrison. Ed Hopper. This is for the approval of the minutes.
Aye. Aye.
Ron Lewis.
Aye.
Clarence Neely.
Aye.
Mrs. Thompson.
Aye.
Olga Torres.
Aye.
Damon Watson. Sheila Johnson.
Aye.
Jaquita Clark. She's not on the line. Madam Chair, your minutes have been approved.
Thank you so much, Lavera. We'll go ahead and move into the industry hour. We're so excited to have Norfolk State University Innovation Center online on today. What I'd like to do is to pass it over to NBC Associate Dr. Rhonda Alexander, who also serves as the Executive Advisor for the NSU Innovation Center, so that she can introduce those that will be sharing insight on today and share a little bit high level in regards to the Innovation Center as well. The floor is yours, Rhonda.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chairwoman. It's wonderful to virtually be with you all again. First of all, I'd like to thank Chairwoman Johnson and the entire council for considering the Innovation Center as its feature for Industry Hour. We certainly appreciate the opportunity to be before you. Today, I have the distinct pleasure of sharing with you an organization that is very close to my heart, the Norfolk State University Innovation Center. The work of this organization addresses the needs of the minority entrepreneurial community of Hampton Roads and seeks to foster an innovative mindset throughout the region. The center is the brainchild of Glenn Carrington, the Dean of the NSU School of Business. The Dean is a man who has demonstrated a lifelong commitment to diversifying corporate and academic spaces and has been the driving force behind the center's mission. Ms. Akosia Echiamponma Nwala is the center's director and hails from ODU. She has a track record of helping entrepreneurs launch new products and ideas. In my role as executive advisor, I have the wonderful honor of working with them both to help underserved entrepreneurs gain access to the mainstream mindsets, principles, practices, and resources that undergird entrepreneurial success. So I know that the Dean was hoping to make it today he had a meeting that was buttressed right up against this one. So hopefully before we are done, he'll have the opportunity to hop in and greet everyone. I really wanted you guys to hear from him. But in the meantime, we do have a presentation. Kosi, if you could cue your presentation and move forward with that, and then following, we'll take questions and hopefully have the opportunity to hear from Dean.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Dr. Rhonda, and thank you everyone on the board today. If I could have access, okay, I can share my screen. That would be great. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Akosia Champomawawa, and like Dr. Rhonda said, I am the director for the Nsu Innovation Center. It's such a pleasure to be here today. And so today I'm just going to talk about the center, some of our achievements, and then our mission and our vision and where we are right now and what we're looking for to be and what type of help we need. All right, so the Nsu Innovation Center, our tagline is to imagine, learn, and grow. That is what we want people to gain, that new imagination, gain a bigger mindset to have the capacity to be able to grow in your innovation and entrepreneurial journey. Our vision is very simple, but very big. We believe that Norfolk State University should be a champion in innovation to foster a robust, thriving community of innovators and entrepreneurs in Hampton Road. Our mission really is to position ourselves so that we can truly provide the information, support, access to resources that innovators and entrepreneurs in Hampton Roads need, especially among the underserved. So resources that will help from the ideation stage or concept stage to when you can actually have a growing and scalable business that you could get investment in. There's a problem that we are trying as a university positioning ourselves to help address. And the problem is that less than 2% of Black entrepreneurs receive venture capitalist funds. Black women, for Black women, that is about less than 0.1%. So we desire to make a difference in this area. And the way we're going about it is quite simple. By standing still in our role as a university, we believe in inspiring and educating and preparing women, entrepreneurs, and minorities to be ready to have access to capital is key. There are many different reasons why this problem is in place, but one of the main solution would be education and preparing entrepreneurs to have a different mindset and the type of mainstream words and lingo and definitions that investors know about and are well versed in. We're introducing the underserved community to that world through education. The way we actually enforce our solution is through our 5 core purposes that we have in place. And one, it includes, like I mentioned, to educate innovation. So how does one understand that it is actually possible for you to be a continuous innovator and an entrepreneur at the same time, and that it is something that can actually be learned, that everyone can learn to innovate and be positioned to just be as well known and as well versed as the Facebook and the Amazons, that the tools and resources that they're continuously using to innovate is actually through the universities. It's actually been available that anyone can learn to become an innovator and to innovate in your businesses. So that is our main message right there, is you can actually learn systematically what it takes to be innovative and what it takes to stay innovative. Our Our second core purpose here is to nurture, and we nurture promising businesses. So if your idea is promising, if you have the capacity to listen and to tag on with our mentors and our consultants and our coaches, we want to work with you. And we do what it takes to make you an innovative entrepreneur. Our third core purpose here is to connect. We like for innovators and entrepreneurs to connect. We believe there's this magic that happens when entrepreneurs start talking to each other. We've seen people collaborate and gotten money together. We've seen people collaborate on marketing efforts together. It's just once they come together in a self-organization manner, they're able to connect with each other and support each other. Our fourth core purpose that we make our mission and our vision happen is through assembling vast network of mentors, investors, and consultants. And that is pretty much the backbone of how we are successful and how we're able to help innovative entrepreneurs, is because of all the mentors and consultants that we have backing us up. So the fifth way is to partner. We partner with organizations and institutions and universities to really kind of broaden the knowledge and to provide resources in different capacities that we can't, or we at this stage are not providing those resources to. So we partner with Old Dominion University, we partner with George Mason, we partner with UVA, and other organizations as well, to really make sure that knowledge is being shared across board when people come to the center. Our service offerings are through two programs that we have. We have a non-resident program and a resident program. I'll talk about the non-resident program right now. Our non-resident program is the training initiative. Our training initiative happens in form of events and workshops. So our events are us introducing different guest speakers, introducing, different topics that people need to understand, or according to our surveys, people really want to understand. And then the workshops are in series that we introduce to people the crucial things that they need to have in place and need to have understanding on in order to be investment ready. And then through our non-residence program, we also do consulting. So with our consulting initiative, that is how we're able to now pull from our participants from the trainings and to really work with promising ideas and promising businesses. Our residence program is our incubator program, which we were able to launch our first one last year. It was actually the first tech innovation incubator program that was focused on underrepresented communities and minorities right here in Hampton Roads. So we're very proud of that. And within the participants that are in the program, we they're able to have access to our meeting space. And also our partners are able to also have access to our space as well to utilize it for meetings. So I will talk a little bit about our clients some of the clients that we've worked with, both in the non-residence program and the residence program, and some of the accomplishments that they've been able to accomplish. But before I mention that, last year we were able to serve over 1,000 people, 1,000 individuals. And that was such a big deal for us, given the capacity and the resources that we have right now. So that includes the training of bringing out what innovation is, how you go about it, really creating a new mindset and a new room so that people can have the capacity to be investment ready. And then we served 80% of our audience who were actually people of color and Black entrepreneurs and innovators. So that shows that we're actually on track in meeting our goals and our vision as a center. Also, we all know what happened with the pandemic, and we were able to transition very fast online, where we were able to help 500 entrepreneurs and continue our programming virtually last year. So now let's talk about some of the work that we have done. This is one of our entrepreneurs that moved from our consulting initiative into our incubator program. So this is Odd Bionics. He actually is in the robotic world, where he's creating robotic arms for a low cost. So he's in an industry where we say is an existing industry, and he's niching himself, and his niche is to sell this robotic arm for very low cost, and so that it is affordable. So the deliverable was to get him investment ready and to get an investor package. Our investor package is very professionally well put together. It includes, the final deliverable includes a business plan, an investor business plan, and then it also includes a market strategy. It also includes a financial statement, so you'll be able to know within 5 years how much of the market you want to capture, how much equity you want to give up, and all of that. That is in a financial statement document that we produce as well. And we also produce a pitch deck. So an investor pitch deck that he was ready to pitch to investors, and all of that is put together in a nice presentation for the investors, the way investors are used to seeing them together. And that was the deliverable for him. The success was that we were able to put him in front of over 30 investors and community leaders. And mind you, most of the entrepreneurs that we're working with are very early stage, very, very early stage. From literally, we catch them at the ideation stage. And so he received 40K grant funding throughout this process after meeting with us and working with us. So that's something that we're really proud of, because it is very important to get that early stage funding before you can get your prototypes and all of that. Investors like for you to have a prototype, attraction, early sales, and all of that. So it's very difficult for innovative entrepreneurs, and especially minority entrepreneurs, to get funding to fund the prototype. And so a lot of people just give up, or a lot of people really don't see it through because it's so difficult. And that's something that we really want to position ourselves to help bridge that gap. It's like, how do you get to VC funding or angel investment when you can't even get funding for the prototype, which is an interesting issue right there. But we're glad we're able to help do something about that. Next entrepreneur that I want to talk about is our team, One Chair Fitness. It's a fitness company. She actually worked with seniors and she teaches seniors how to work out just sitting from a chair or sitting from a bed. And so that is actually her niche. And she came to us before the pandemic and seeking to how to expand to different places and get more trainers under her. And at the time, we started introducing her to online and getting more entrepreneurs and more trainers under a platform online. But it really kicked in her brain once the pandemic happened, and she started really taking the steps that we had proposed to her, that in a short period of time, she was able to scale from 14 states to 41 states. And then the last company that I want to talk about is Precise Portions. Precise Portions is a profitable company already. They are in the food industry, so they are very well professional folks that would huge background from corporate America that have been working on precise portions for quite some time now. So they have their own products and tools that they've introduced through the Precise Portions brand. But now, once the pandemic hit, their question was, how do we position ourselves so that we last? How do we position ourselves? So we worked with them to come up with an innovative strategic plan that will help them for the next 10 years. And that had to include some type of technology solution. And so they are right now working through the program. They worked on their new idea or new product that they're bringing to their Precise Portions called Portia. And Portia is an AI solution for multicultural food enthusiasts. So people that love their Caribbean food, their Indian food, Jamaican food, there isn't an AI well-diverse solution that customized your eating habits and a plan for you if you like these kind of food. We love the Nooms and the Better Me's apps, if you guys are familiar with them. However, they don't serve that group that they're trying to serve. So that is their niche right there. And they're really taking pride in that and pushing it for funding to build their prototype right now. So with all of that being said and introducing you to some of our clients and our mission, we have an ask. Our ask is quite simple and it stays pretty consistent. One is we're asking for consultants and mentors. I mentioned earlier that assembling that vast network of consultants and mentors is really what makes us successful and is really what keeps us helping all these innovative entrepreneurs. And then the second thing is partners. We're looking for people that will identify with our center, identify with our program, and identify with the solutions that we're offering, that you are partnering with us. And then we're also looking for sponsors. We have financial sponsorship package that comes in 3 different tiers that if any of you are interested in, we'll be able to make that available. So that is our ask for the center. And as you already know, this is our leadership team right now. And our contact information is right here. This is my email address. It's my last name, at nsu.edu. I have Dr. Runder's email address here as well. And you're welcome to reach out to us through our main email address, which is nsuic@nsu.edu. All right, that is the end of my presentation today. Thank you so much for having me, and it's such an honor to be here.
Thank you so much, Akusa. I believe that was an amazing presentation, very powerful. I do believe that Dean Carrington joined. Is that right, Dr. Rhonda?
Yes, I see his name on the list.
Okay, Dean, did you want to share anything else?
I think everyone can hear me now, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Good, good. Well, I just want to say we're excited about this, and the NSU Innovation Center really is reaching out. We want to be kind of partnered with our colleagues in various jurisdictions outside of Norfolk, and we're looking for people to team with, and we want all the help we can get. So we appreciate that and look forward to maybe partnering with some of them.
Well, Dean, like I said, and I shared with Dr. Rhonda and Akusa, am I saying that correctly?
Akosia.
Akosia as well. Thank you guys so much for your time on today. You guys are doing some amazing work there. I am thoroughly impressed with what you offer and the impact that you're making as well. we would certainly like to partner with you all in some way in regards to the services that you all offer. I think we'll need to sort of talk that through as to what that may look like. And we do have a resource on our board, Dr. Rhonda. And so once again, thank you so much for all that you all are doing, especially during this time of COVID restrictions. We're seeing that organizations are still thriving. And I think it's because of what you all do as well. I will turn it over to board members or Councilman Rouse. Are there any additional questions?
Madam Chair, it's Ron. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Dean, good to see you again.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Looking well. I guess it's Black Turtleneck Day. But Akosia and Dr. Alexander, thank you for the presentation. One quick question for you. The stat about the venture capitalists and angel fund investments, less than 2% going to Black-owned businesses, 0.1 to Black women-owned businesses. I guess it's true that venture capitalists, angel investors are looking for a quick turn on companies with a large investment, a large return on investment. A lot of those happen to be tech companies. If that's true, how can we and how are we helping to steer Black-owned, minority-owned companies towards that area? If that's our goal.
Well, I just like to say this, that I think that the problem so far is that a lot of African Americans have not gotten in front of the proper people, the venture capitalists, and a lot of this is relationships and people believing in you and that you can carry your product, your idea to market or take it to market, and that's what we're trying to change. We're trying to change. We have groups of investors now. Some of my friends from my work days, some of other people's friends. We put them together, and they're coming in, and they've been impressed. And I think the main thing is we're preparing the entrepreneurs who are asking for this money. We're getting them game ready, as I call it. I think a lot of people weren't game ready, a minority. They didn't get the background. They didn't go through a training session like we have at the Innovation Center. And you're only good at your game. Only good as your practice. And so that's what we're trying to change. And I've seen it already. We've taken one gentleman who I know. I play basketball with him. I play golf with him. And he's not a business person. This person now can talk the language. And he's a business person. I think if he had gone before one of these groups, before going through this training, he would have landed on his face. And he's my friend, so I can say that. So we have changed this person. He's polished business now, and that's what it's going to take. And it's going to take what I call hard love, tough love. I mean, we got to tell somebody you're not ready, or you missed these elements here. You got to explore, okay? And you got to be tough. I'm gonna tell you, this entrepreneurship world is no joke. I mean, you got to be tough. And it's a lot of attention because you put your heart in something and you're waiting for somebody to endorse you, right? And a lot of it's luck. I mean, in the sense that you make your luck by being the best you can be. And so that's what we're proud of. That's what we think could change. I think unfortunately, Black Lives Matters is going to influence this. I think in the past, people just haven't gotten the audiences, and people really haven't. I've been to some of these events, and I didn't see anybody in there of color, and I didn't see anybody in there really interested in the ideas that we put forth. So I think that's the change that we're going to need, and I see it coming about already. But the main thing, we have people out there in the mainstream fighting for us. They let us in the door, let us show what we got. And a couple companies have said that what the ideas that we have produced or helped produce in the Innovation Center, some of the best they've seen in Hampton Roads. So with that kind of endorsement, I think that there's success along the way.
Thanks, Dean. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Ron, for that question. Are there any other questions? No?
This is Olga. I just wanted to make a comment that I really enjoyed the presentation and getting to know a little bit more about it. I guess I could have looked it up online. Somehow it missed it. It missed the radar. It missed my radar. But I'm glad that we had the opportunity to listen to and to see the presentation because it brings more awareness. And hopefully, I'm not just speaking for myself. Maybe some of my members feel similar to myself, and I'm looking forward to hearing more and having a discussion ourselves to see how we can partner with the center. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Olga. Anyone else? I think we're right at 3:37. All righty, NSU Innovation Center, thank you so much for joining us on today. We truly appreciate it. And like I said, this will not be the last that you hear from us. I think there's some opportunity for us to partner in some of the initiatives that we have coming up. So thank you so much for all you do. It is powerful, it is impactful, and go get it. How about that? All righty, guys. Have a great Friday. Take care. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, Lavera, are we ready to move forward with reports? Committee reports? Yes. Yes, we are. Okay, great. Damon, you're up. We'll start with the outreach report, please.
Hello, everybody. We are very, very excited about the upcoming expo. I want to thank everybody for the commitment and dedication they put to that. We do have a theme. I want to start off with that. The theme for the expo will be, if everybody's ready, drum roll, please. Recovery, reimagine, innovate, and thrive. It's great topics and leaves a wild range of discussion for the expo. We do have a date set for April 22nd, 2021. The save the date has been sent out. We have identified a minority vendor, which they gave us a great presentation for the technology, which was amazing and blew us all away. So you get the same experience that we had as far as being live at the convention center, but they do it virtually. Again, once I said that the way they displayed it to us and presented it to us was amazing. So I'm definitely looking forward to that and implementing our expo into that. So the technology pretty much replicates the convention center, convention hall theme, in which is different rooms and banners and signage and centers. So like I said, I think that's a great concept and looking forward to the execution of that. Also, we will follow up with procurement to ensure that we are following all the proper procedure and protocol. And we are currently working on a keynote speaker. We do have some in mind. We just want to get the final details taken care of. And also we are working to identify and confirm strategic partners as far as assisting outreach with the displays and exposure and making sure we make this event as big as all the other ones. So I'm definitely very excited. I want to thank everybody for the assistance with this.
Thank you so much, Damon. Does that conclude your report?
That concludes my report as far as this aspect. I don't know if we still want to update on the Minority Business Committee.
We'll do that when we get to that section.
Okay, perfect.
Towards
I
the
said
end.
as well. Sorry, I didn't see that. Okay, but yeah, so that concludes my my speech for the outreach.
Okay, thank you so much, Damon. I truly appreciate it. I am excited already. That theme is, I think it's fitting for where we are at this particular point. And after the presentation from Dr. Rhonda's team from the NSU Innovation Center, I am truly excited about what will unfold for the NBC in 2021 and moving forward. Can we have?
Oh.
Yes.
Hey, Francina here.
Hey.
Brother Damon. Hey. So, what's the theme? So, you guys do already have your speakers narrowed down, or Are you still looking for folks depending, I mean, are these perhaps the theme of the speaker, someone who has been resilient during this rebuild process, or you already have some folks in mind?
Well, for the keynote, we have some folks in mind.
Okay.
We have some other ideas we're throwing around as well, but for the keynote, we have particulars in mind that we want to reach out to and get the final details taken care of.
Gotcha.
But with
Francina, did you have, I'm sorry, go ahead,
I
Damon.
was gonna say, with the technology, we do have the option of having people in different rooms. So like Madam Chair was about to say, if you have somebody in mind, please definitely reach out and let us know.
I mean, being that we're virtual now, we don't have to fly anybody here.
Absolutely.
Some of the folks that, like some really, I mean, folks, some of them more, nationally known or whatever, but I've just watched how they were resilient. That's the word I'm looking for during this shift. But again, if you guys already started your process, I mean, April's right around the corner. So, but I mean, I've always loved, y'all know, I've always loved Alfred Edmond. He's just incredible from Black Enterprise. And Mario Armstrong's incredible in terms of the technology space. He's nationally known. And these are folks that, I've some connection with, but they were all, you had to get them here with the hotel and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you don't do all that anymore, but still, I don't, they would be they came off the top of my head.
Yeah, the thing with virtual. Go ahead, Ma'am. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Damon. I was saying, Francina, if you could just sort of push that information to Damon and his team. Like I said, we haven't made any final commitments at this particular point. So if there's an opportunity for us to engage someone else for a different session, as David had mentioned, there still may be an opportunity to do that. And so what I would say at this particular point, if there are names of individuals that you think, and I thought you were being fancy when you said, I don't know what your word, but I thought it was resilient, but you had another word. I thought, well, maybe it's COVID, maybe I missed it. But
Francina, you never know. It worked for me.
Yeah, but hey, but I would say push that information to Damon so that he and his committee can sort of flush it out and we can discuss that further. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. Yep.
All righty, fantastic. We're going to move to minority awareness. Frances Thompson.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, my dear.
Yes, I'm glad to be here this afternoon. I enjoyed that presentation from Dr. Rhonda and Dr. Carrington. It was amazing to hear more about the work that they're doing over there. So I hope we can, as they've said, partner with them. But on to the report. We had our meeting this week on Tuesday, and we all assembled and tried to gather how we could do better, a better job of promoting the MBC and as well as supporting all of the efforts that this agency puts forth. So let's start with our social media presence. Jaquita, and who's our member, and Hannah Francis is our junior associate, are working to manage and maintain our social media. And so we put Jaquita in a place of administrator over the Facebook page and gave her all of the information that she has needed for a couple months, but somehow she worked some magic. I'm gonna let her get on and tell us about the magic she worked. And we went from 1,500 likes in a couple of days to 1,705 likes. So about 117, 114 people increased over the last couple of days. So I don't know what kind of magic she worked, but we are turning them over. And then we've increased about 77 followers. So people who follow the page to get information from the page really increased as well. So we like what she's doing. And I hope as we go forward, we'll see throughout the month, we'll see even more increase. And she's doing a great job and we appreciate that. Twitter, Instagram, we try to keep those updated, but the whole purpose of the social media stuff is to try to get the word out to the things that we are doing and the things that are being sponsored by the SWAM office, and try to get the business community engaged in those kinds of things. And so to that end, we asked Keith to publish a newsletter, and he has done just that. He's an amazing dude. And I give him all the credit for doing this. He gathers articles that are beneficial to the business and minority business community He put them together, and we have a newsletter. We've just got to do a couple tweaks to them. We will distribute that newsletter electronically. Hopefully we can do it through our constant contact and send it out to the entire business community, excuse me, electronically. It'll have all the information pertaining to the current procurement procedures and lots of resources for the businesses during this COVID season, all those kinds of things that are important to businesses. We're going to try to get that electronically out. It's one of the goals of the MBC, like I said, to make sure that the community knows what they're doing. And I just have to reiterate that we're doing special things on social media, but Chiquita is also going to be doing a little video diary from time to time to give people insight on information about the business community. And so we're just going to try to do a lot more things to keep people engaged in our social media pages. So we've got some things we want to do there. We're also committed to partnering with the Outreach Committee to get this virtual expo out. We're going to do everything we can to get the word out and get it around. I promoted it at the Human Rights Commission meeting today, and I told them to save the date, and we've got lots of things going. This virtual expo is going to be amazing. Scheduled for April 22nd. We're going to do everything we can. We are working in tandem with the Damon and the Outreach Committee to make sure that we're in the marketing and promoting of the event. We're key in that area. We also would like to, that's one of our specific goals, is to promote cultural awareness and appreciation for diversity within the business community. We're trying to develop meaningful ways to accomplish this goal. You know, we want to be sensitive and aware of the climate, but we still want to promote cultural awareness and appreciation for diversity within the community. So if you have some ideas about how we can do that meaningful ways, we don't want to just do something in name only. We want it to be meaningful as we interact with the business community in the city of Virginia Beach. So that's about it. We have our specific goals that we try to meet. We're working hard to meet as a committee, but I have to thank every single committee member for meeting with me this week and for your input. Olga is very supportive. We appreciate her. Lavera, Keith is off the chain, and Nikita, the entire SWAM office staff. We appreciate all that you do to help us. And that's the end of my report. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them.
Thank you so much, Francis. Are there any questions, anyone? No? If not, we'll move on to the data collection and analysis report, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we finally have some numbers. It's not an official and a beautiful report just yet because those numbers are coming together. We've been promising some numbers for a while. So hopefully this will satisfy, you know, your inquiries or your curiosity for now. So with minority businesses, we're up to it for this report is for the first quarter of 2021, which runs from July 1st to September 30th, 2020. So total minority-owned businesses, 5.6 million. From that, the breakdown is Asian Pacific American, 3.9 million. Black Americans, 1.2 million. Hispanic Americans, 468,000. And Native Americans, 3,802. And subcontinent Asian, 675. I don't have details specifically about the definitions there, but we also have obviously women-owned businesses, which is 6.7 million. And then service disabled veteran-owned businesses, 1.2 million. So the total MBE and WBE is 12.3 million. And those are the, you know, the I guess the numbers that we have for you, but we're working on more specific and a report to be delivered. But like I said, I know we've been saying we don't have anything to report. We did, we just didn't have the concise numbers. And if there is anything that anyone else, you know, would like to add from the procurement department, it would be great to support it. And that's all we have right now. So it's nice. What I like to say is the breakdown is nice to see it. And I know we're going to get more details as we get a more detailed report. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Olga. And I think what you're sharing, I think probably what everybody else is trying to understand as well. It is great when you share the numbers, just read them out to us. And I think what you're saying is at the next meeting, possibly, there will be a report, sort of like a graphic that we can see.
Yes. Yes.
What those numbers are. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Are there any additional questions, anyone? No? Calvin, policy.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up. All right, great. From the policy committee, I really want to thank Lavera and Rebecca for getting me some information so that I can bring some things to you. The key thing that I want to talk about today is it was distributed. I know everyone had a lot of information coming at them, but on January 29th, Governor Northam announced some legislative steps to really increase equity in the state procurement. It was the results of the disparity study. We all know well about the disparity study. We know well that provided it for the state. Some key things that came out of the disparity study out there available to take a look at. Key things, the governor is now with House Bill 1784, which is pending, wanting to increase the goal for women and minority-owned business to 23.1% of discretionary spending from the state to them, and a goal of 42% to SWAM certified businesses. This House bill also establishes a separate group within the Small Business Supplier Diversity Department that's going to oversee and manage and report back on how the state is doing versus those metrics. That sound familiar, folks? I say this, we knew that the model that we were working, this Minority Business Council in Virginia Beach, now has risen up to the state level. The disparity study, the first one done back in 2011 at the state, showed only about 2.8% of spending going to minority businesses. And I believe back in 2011 is officially when the Minority Business Council went on record and saying, we need to have a study in the city of Virginia Beach. So at that time, 2.82 at the state level. They did an average of 2014 to 2019, and they found in the study results that only about 13.4% of contracts were going to our minority businesses. The expectation, almost 33%. So the state was well underperforming in this area. Now the governor has put it in writing and set a goal for 42% for SWAM certified businesses for discretionary spending. So House Bill 1784 is what's pending to bring all this together. The city is supportive of this. For us, the takeaway is also to take a look at how our small business enhancement programs and our other metrics are still comparable to where they need to be. But it is very good and very encouraging to see that at the state level, now the disparity study is done, the results are out, and the governor is putting forth legislation to increase that participation percentage goal. And I believe this is something that probably rings satisfactory to Councilman Rouse. We know he's always been a strong proponent of pushing that goal higher here in Virginia Beach. So at the state level, it's now happening. And I'll pause there if there's any questions.
Thank you so much, Calvin. That is great news. Are there any questions, any Anything you want to add there, Councilman Rouse, or are you waiting for your turn?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. No, I just want to say how important it is for members of this body to advocate for bills such as this at the state level, not on behalf of the NBC, but on your own behalf. And also it's important to get your community as well to speak to our state delegation on how important these bills are to our business community here locally and throughout the Commonwealth. So just want to add that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Calvin, great job. I think we'll probably need to talk a bit offline. I think some of this information is so impactful. I think it may support Mac's efforts as we put information out via our social media, etc. I think this information is truly impactful. And as Councilman Rouse said, to assist in moving people to action as well.
Yeah. And Madam Chair, if I may add, there are several other bills in the House and at the state that are pending regarding procurement. Rebecca and I have began some discussions on which ones the city are supportive of, which ones that we may not be as supportive of. So we're planning to get back to you with some additional information on those bills so that our team will be prepared if the need is for any advocacy efforts regarding some of those state bills.
Thank you so much, Calvin.
You're very welcome.
All righty, we're going to move into other business, but before we do that, I wanted to know if Rod is on the line. Rod, I wanted you to share some information, I believe, in regards to the remote participation plan.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to do so. And I've sent something to Lavera that it looks like Nikita's going to try to share with you. But let me back up. You've been able to meet virtually for your council meetings and also for your committee meetings because of the pandemic, because of special legislation that was adopted in light of the pandemic, because it's not safe to meet in person. At some point in the future, hopefully, the pandemic will recede and it will be safe to meet in person. And there's a desire for, once that happens, for individual members who can't make it to the meeting, who can't get to the physical location of the meeting, to still be able to participate. This policy that you see in front of you is a remote participation policy. A similar policy was adopted by council right after the pandemic began last year. The Human Rights Commission adopted this policy 3 years ago, and there are other boards and commissions that have taken advantage of it. The procedures are a little bit cumbersome, but these are the procedures that are set forth in state law. If we want, once we return to meeting in person, if we want an individual member to be able to legally participate in that meeting by telephone or by WebEx or Zoom from a remote location, this is the only path to do so. So if I may take just a moment, I will highlight the most important parts of this policy. First of all, if you look at the bottom of 2.0, it says this policy applies to the NBC and also to any committee, subcommittee, or task force that has voted to adopt this policy. So if the NBC were to adopt this policy to allow individual members to participate remotely once we're meeting in person, then each committee could also vote to adopt that policy for their committee. Now, if you have a committee of 5 people, you have to have a quorum of 3 present in a room to which the public has been invited once we're physically meeting together. But you could have up to 2 people who could call into that meeting or participate remotely. There are limitations on the ability to participate remotely. If you are participating remotely for a medical reason, there's no limit on the number of times you may do so. But if you are participating remotely for a non-medical reason, because you're on a business trip, or because you're on vacation, or for whatever reason, then if it's not for a medical reason, you may participate remotely if the MBC adopts this policy up to 2 times per year. So that would be up to 2 times per year for the MBC. And then if you're a member of a committee, up to 2 times per year for that committee. If you look at 2.1, whenever an individual member wishes to participate from a remote location, the member shall notify the chair and Lavera on or preferably before the day of the meeting that the member is unable to attend due to a temporary or permanent disability or other medical condition that prevents the member's physical attendance, or for some personal reason. And you're required to identify that reason. It would be a business trip, or I'm on vacation, or something like that. And as I said, the last sentence of 2.1 is participation for personal reasons is limited to twice per year. A quorum of the MBC or of the committee must be physically assembled at the primary meeting location in order to take advantage of this policy. And arrangements have to be made so that everybody in the room can hear the voice of the member who is participating remotely. So it isn't a requirement that we have this fancy WebEx or Zoom video conferencing. It can be accomplished by somebody on a telephone. We just have to ensure that everybody in the room can hear the voice of that person on the phone. And then there are certain requirements about the information that must be included in the minutes. I will note, while you have to specify the personal reason, I'm on vacation, and you also have to specify where you're calling from. I'm on vacation in Aruba. With respect to the medical condition, you do not have to give any specificity. We do not need to put in the minutes the nature of your medical condition. We just need to know you had a medical reason. The final thing I'll note, it's not showing on the screen, but down at the bottom, there is a provision for challenges. There it is. I'm glad to say that in the 3 years that various boards and commissions have had this policy, there have been no challenges. But if there are challenges, the state law provides how we handle those, and you can read that there. I understand that there is likely a desire by some MBC members to be able to have virtual meetings, particularly committee meetings, fully virtual meetings, like what we're doing right now, where everybody's in their own home or office. Going forward, even after the pandemic's over. Right now, the law doesn't allow that. Maybe the law will change to allow that. I think if such a change were to come, it would be more likely for our subcommittees. I think if the legislature was deciding, well, do we want to go all the way, or maybe we'll just go part of the way, maybe they would say subcommittees could meet all virtually, but no such law has been adopted yet. So for now, you may continue to meet with everybody participating virtually like we are right now. Once the pandemic's over, the only option for members to participate by phone or remotely by WebEx or Zoom will be pursuant to this policy, where we've got a quorum physically assembled in the room, and then the member who's not present is calling in or is teleconferencing in. I've said a lot of stuff really quickly. Does anybody have a question for me?
You know, I have a question. Tina does. I've been praying for this for a while, but anyway, that's another story. So when you said when it's determined that the pandemic is over, like what does, so how would that look like? Are we saying like a year from now, someone declares the pandemic's over? So we could, some of the literature, we may be in pandemic mode for several years because it's never really going away. So if that's the case, what we're doing now can be here for a while. So I'm just curious of what determines the pandemic being over.
The thing that triggered our ability to meet remotely due to the pandemic was the governor declaring a state of emergency because of the pandemic. That state of emergency is ongoing. The city of Virginia Beach has a similar state of emergency. at some point in the future, hopefully COVID will, its impact will lessen substantially. And once we get to that point, the governor will likely end the state of emergency. Once that happens, this pathway is closed. But I have no indication that that's going to be happening anytime soon. Our numbers are getting better, but we're still in the midst of a pandemic. So adoption of this policy is just something to help us in the future. Once we no longer have the pandemic route to have an all virtual meeting, I just want y'all to have all the tools that are available to you, whatever the circumstances are.
Thank you.
With that said, while you might find the wording of this policy a little bit cumbersome, I'm just repeating what's found in state law. I don't have much discretion. So while you're welcome to look at this and think about potential edits, basically, this is it. Y'all can adopt this policy or you can not adopt this policy. I would recommend that you adopt the policy in order to give the MBC and your committees flexibility going forward in the future.
Thank you, Rod. We really appreciate it. Are there any additional questions, anyone?
This policy seems to cover all the bases, even if it is cumbersome.
So Rod, at this particular point, do I ask for a motion and we move forward with it? How do we need to proceed with this?
That's exactly right. If you'll ask for a motion, a second, and call the vote, we can adopt it.
I make a motion. Let's go with it.
Taking the motion.
Thank you, Francina.
I second the motion.
Thank you, Ed.
And Lavera can now do a roll call vote.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Kelvin Arthur,
Yes.
Harshad Barat, Francina Harrison,
Yes.
Ed Hopper,
Yes.
Ron Lewis,
Yes.
Clarence Neely,
Yes.
Francis Thompson,
Yes.
Olga Torres,
Yes.
Damon Watson, Damon Watson,
Yes.
Shakita Clark,
Yes.
Yes.
Madam Chair, your motion has passed unanimously with one person absent, Harshad Barat.
Thank you so much, Lavera. All righty, with that being said, and congratulations, Francina. You've been asking for this for years. Okay, so we'll move on to staff report. Rebecca? Rebecca, are you muted?
She is talking, but we cannot hear you, Rebecca. She's not muted.
Do we want to move on to, is she there?
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll
Okay,
come
we'll
back
come
to
back.
Rebecca.
Okay, can we move on to the Minority Business Commission? Ed or Damon?
I'll let Damon handle that one.
Good afternoon again, everyone. So in theory, the Virginia Minority Business Commission was supposed to meet on January 7th. I have not gotten any words on which they've met or have not met. It was supposed to be virtually. I'm still waiting a response. I do have the proposed agenda. So the proposed agenda for that particular meeting was going to be a call to order, elections of the chair and the vice chair, discussion planning, and then issues for what the commission is going to do itself, and then adjournment. Again, I have not gotten a solidified answer if they met or have not met or if they rescheduled. but in theory, it's supposed to be a virtual meeting in January 7th.
Thank you so much, Damon. Are there any questions? No? We'll move to economic development.
Thank you, Madam
Is
Chair.
Jeff on the line?
Madam Chair, Economic Development is not on the line.
Okay. Is Rebecca ready just yet, Lavera?
It looks like she's plugging in her headset. I think her computer was calling for the headset. Rebecca, can you hear us?
I can. Can you
Yes, we
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Yes.
Oh, yay!
We can hear you.
All right. Well, thank you, Madam Chair and Council, once again for the opportunity. So sorry about the technical difficulties. I'm usually okay. So, as Mr. Author mentioned, we do have several other bills that were around in this legislative session. The vast majority that interested us had to do with subcontractors and additional information required by subcontractors or by the primes for those subcontractors. After looking at those and discussing, we really stood against most of those because it adds cumbersome paperwork and red tape, and we thought it might be a barrier to our SWAM businesses, because the more we add to the cumbersomeness of doing business with the government, the more barriers we put up for businesses to do business with us and to have open communication. So that's really, there weren't too many things other than the bill that Mr. Arthur mentioned that we really were excited about. We also, Lavera has been working very hard on a SWAM dashboard. So at some point that will be eventually hooked to our system, and those numbers will kind of be real live time, and that will be amazing. Would like to thank Minority Business Council, City Council, and our new city manager for so many resources and support. We've been talking about a lot of amazing things that we could do in procurement and things we could do with the city with regard to those SWAM opportunities that we miss on a daily basis. And it seems like everything is finally starting to come together. We have amazing resources. We have the support. If I face a barrier in the city, just from a culture change perspective, I take that to my leadership and I get support to make those changes. I can really see the changes starting to take place. One of the things I thought might be interesting to the Minority Business Council, which you would never normally see, we actually now have a procurement review team, including the city manager, where we take larger solicitations or any solicitation that is something that where we disagree as a group of how to move forward with a SWAM initiative or how to move forward with the best solicitation for the city. And we sit down and discuss those every week to say, are we using the right SWAM initiative? Is this going to help us? How should we move forward with these items? And so we're not just taking those recommendations and saying, okay, here's a process, rubber stamp, we did what we had to do, which I think has been something that would be easy to do, and something to say, look, we did what you asked us to do, it's not working, moving on, right? We're saying, how is this working? How can we make it work? What is the best fit? Lavera is included in those meetings, and we work really hard to really have honest discussions about what we're doing, how we're moving forward, and whether or not those steps are actually working. And to have that support and those resources from City Council and from our leadership here in the city staff has been amazing. And so I'm really hopeful that we're going to start seeing those significant changes in our numbers while we're not just working through these processes, but that we're really thinking about them and trying to find the best answer as we go through, honestly, a culture change in the city of doing things a little different and not just checking the boxes, but really looking at what we're doing and stop looking at these numbers as some sort of problem to solve or some sort of challenge to meet. This is a culture. We want to be all inclusive. This is not a problem. This is an opportunity to grow the city, to grow to be inclusive, to have everything we do look like all of us, as opposed to these pieces of our society that don't represent who we are. And so I'm so excited about those changes and super excited about the numbers that are coming going forward. And I will tell you, I have received calls from Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas, they're fighting with each other, and Knoxville, Tennessee, and also NIGP, which is our main professional organization, to ask questions about how disparity studies works, how to get those moving. So what our council and our leadership and you guys are doing isn't just impacting Virginia Beach, it's impacting the nation. And I'm so excited that you guys have allowed me to be a part of it. And that's my report for this week until we get you some beautiful numbers. Olga, we're close.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Are there any questions, anyone, for Rebecca? No? Okay,
Just a
well,
comment, Madam Chair.
yes.
Thank you, Rebecca, for that report and the key things that the culture change. It has started from 2011 with our push for a diversity study, it happening at the state level. Here we are 10 years later, and we're not talking about producing these numbers as a problem, as a burden, but a culture change to help make our city more available to diverse contractors. It's taken 10 years. Some of us have been around for the 10-year ride that this has happened from the Minority Business Council's advocacy, but it's great to hear that it's now a culture change within the way these numbers are being looked at, the way our programs are being looked at. It's great to hear. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? We'll move on to our liaison reports. Councilman Rouse.
Thank you all. It's good to see everyone. I know it's been quite some time. I believe the last time you all met, it was my birthday, and so I was unavailable that day. But it's good to see everyone here today. I know we are missing some members, but nonetheless, the business of the NBC must go on. I don't really have a report for you except for a resolution by Council Member Wooten that will be coming forth this Tuesday. I thought it would be pertinent to the Minority Business Council. This resolution seeks to aim to direct the city manager to create a Virginia Beach Small Business Initiative division within the Virginia Beach website for outreach and support for small businesses. I will get more information on that resolution for you all come this Tuesday. And if you want to tune in for Tuesday's City Council to hear Councilmember Wooten and give her informative direction on how this came about. And so that would be all for council report right now.
Thank you so much, Councilman Rouse. What's you born in January?
January 8th, Capricorn.
Kings up on in January, July Queens. Okay, I'm sorry, that's unprofessional, but happy belated birthday, Councilman Rouse. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. We're going to move to school board liaison, Dr. Lakeisha. I thought I saw your face. Is Dr. Lakeisha on?
Madam Chair, I don't see her name here. I don't believe she's on the call.
Okay, let's see. I think that's it. I do have a reminder. Make sure you do submit your volunteer forms. And then also, members, the NBC mini retreat is scheduled for Thursday, February 25th from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. It will be a virtual session, of course. Lavera? Oh, I thought you said something, Lavera. Okay, it will be a virtual session, and so we'll be focusing on topics or areas such as operating amid COVID-19 restrictions, being effective as a team despite COVID-19, and reimagining how we will move forward as the NBC and continue to make impact. We're sort of still in a conversation with a possible facilitator that will be confirmed shortly. We're just in the process of working with procurement to ensure that we are in line with that as well. And I think that's it.
Madam Chair, can I add something real quick? This is Olga.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Just wanted to mention that we received from the 2020 census a thank you certificate from the U.S. Census. Oh, thank you, Lavera. I just wanted to share it with you guys. And I really wanted to say that Colleen, just did such a wonderful job representing us. And I came in literally at the tail end, and Lavera, and, I couldn't not mention, the contribution
Absolutely.
that she made to the committee. So thank you so much, Lavera, for sharing it.
Thank you. That is beautiful. I guess that will go in our files somewhere, Lavera. Somewhere in a plaque on a wall.
Yes, ma'am. We will make that happen.
Yes, when we go into an office. Alrighty, that is fantastic. Thank you so much again for everybody that took the time out on today to join the call. Thank you, of course, to city staff. We could not do this without you. Thank you for Francis for always making us feel like we're in a spa. I really appreciate your backgrounds all the time. And Rhonda, Alexander, Doctor, you and your team did an amazing job. Councilman Rouse, happy belated birthday. Thank you so much. And I will be calling you in regards to this virtual expo that we're moving through. All righty.
Sheila, can I just speak up just one moment? Dr. Parrott had to leave, but I just like I have to say this about the Black History Initiative that the school division sponsored, and Councilman Rouse was the keynote speaker. And I attended. It was an amazing event coordinated by Dr. Sabrina Lindsay Law. She is their new coordinator. And Councilman Rouse did an amazing job of motivating the young minds that were attached to the event. It was just awesome. And I know that she has, Dr. Lindsay Law has several other events that she has coming. But I just wanted to just let the Minority Business Council know that Councilman Rouse did an excellent job of presenting for the Black History Initiative sponsored by the school division. Thank you, Councilman Rouse.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Rouse.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Francis, for bringing it up. I thought I did see Dr. Lakeisha Parrott on earlier. She must.
I did too.
Yeah, she has something to go to. But it was truly an honor to speak to our students throughout our city, for your support, for watching and just sharing my story and how important it is to have that pride, but continue to be persistent, have that perseverance, and also prepare for those opportunities that you never know when they arrive. So it was a great honor just to speak, and just thank you all for your support. And that's just the beginning. We have more work to do. And as this body and council, I'm always pushing us to constantly
That's right.
Raise the bar. And so, again, I'm looking forward for us 2021 doing some big things to have that recovery, as Brother Damon stated, to have that recovery, go out into communities, find those resources, get that capital investment for our HBCUs around here as well, and make sure we bring in to cast this big net so we can get our youth working and really instilling them those values that they'll need to be successful and be successful members of our society. So 2021 is a big year. 2020 is behind us. We have work to do. The pandemic will recede. Have high hopes on that. Now the key goal is get everybody vaccinated, get our communities vaccinated, have more focus in that, but also getting the resources our business community need, our minority businesses need.
Absolutely.
That are truly heavily affected by this pandemic. It already was missing the resources they need. Absolutely. To actually to survive, to sustain themselves throughout this economy. So I have my work cut out for me. We have our work cut out for us, but together we can get it done. All right. Let's go.
All righty. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Councilman Rouse, and thank you to everybody. And congratulations, Francina, once again.
My face just says it all.
She has been, Councilman Rouse, she has been fighting for this since I don't know when. Why can't we call in? Why?
It took a pandemic, but it's okay.
It took a pandemic, but it happened. It happened. And so I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. You guys have a great evening. And spread love. Enjoy the love this weekend.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month. And you know, I just have to end on this. Yes, my Patriots did not do, but you know, my QB still did the deal. So TB12 still rocks. I'm just saying. Let's leave on that note. Let's just leave on that note.
Oh my God.
Councilman Rouse.
I had to do it. Come on.
Okay. All right. It is off season now, officially. Okay.
Let me say this meeting is adjourned before we go.
All in love. All done in love. All done in love.
All right.